Hello friends, welcome to TUTLOGIC. I hope everyone is doing great. In today's video we are going to learn how to fetch this option chain data from nseindia.com in our Excel just using VBA without any third-party API or library. So let's begin by creating a Excel workbook first. So I'm going to click on this blank workbook, and from here we can copy this columns detail from NSE India in our Excel workbook. Right click and click on this option, match destination formatting. Now we have all the columns which is available on this NSE India website. Apart from it, we can also include some other columns such as expiry date, and two more columns we can add here, which is the benefit of using this API call, which includes total buy and total sale quantity for particular strike price and expiry date. So we are inserting two more columns. So one is total buy and another one is total sale. Now we can insert two more columns in P side as well and copy these two new columns here as well. Now all these columns are the part of C and these columns are for PE data. We can format these columns using cell style. This one should be like this and this one should be like this. Okay, so let me auto fit this columns, and we can also create one more field here to filter out the data we are fetching from NSE website. For the expiry date we want to filter this records, so expiry date, because whenever we call using this API we get all the information containing all the strike price and expiry date which have NSE information of, so we can filter out using this field. So next, closing date for Nifty is 18th April 2024, so we can insert the date here, date 2024, month is 4th and 18th is the day. Okay, so let's begin by opening the Visual Basic application editor or VB editor using this developer option. If you don't have this developer option at this time, you can click on file and enable it by clicking on file, click on options and go to customize ribbon. Here you can see this developer option is enabled for me, but initially when you want to enable this option it should be like unchecked, so you checked it and click on OK. This developer option will be available in this menu bar. Now click on this Visual Basic button, it will open this Visual Basic editor. Let's maximize this Excel and this editor as well. Initially there is no modules available, so we'll have to insert a new module where we are going to write our program or macro. Let's create a function or module, or we can say sub in the terminology of VBA, and we are naming it fetch OC data from NSE India. Okay, so this is our function. We will call it to fetch all the information from nseindia.com. I'm using this cell to indicate if the macro is running or not. When the macro is running, this cell will update fetching. When the macro is not running, it should be like done. Okay, so sheet 1, I'm in sheet 1, then cells, 1 row 1 column means A1 cell dot value 2 is fetching. Okay, so I need one variable here to hold the URL. In VBA we use dim to define a variable. I'm naming it as OC URL, and this URL will be from this page. Right click on this page, click on inspect. This window will appear, click on network, and in network you will have to click on this button, refresh button, and the link for this data will be available here. We will use that URL to fetch information from NSE website. First of all, click on this clear, click on refresh. This symbol URL we need. Click on this, right click on this, copy URL. That's it. So this is our URL. Because we are going to fetch information continuously from this URL, I'm also including one more temporary variable or dummy variable here to indicate that every URL is different in every request using just a random function. int rnd plus, sorry, this is like string, and in this line we will initialize this OC URL like this. because in VBA we cannot initialize the variable at the time of defining it. So first we define the variable as a string, then we initialize its value. One more variable we need to hold the response, and we can declare it as response as a string. And to send the API request, we are going to create another object of XML HTTP. I'm using with keyword to create this object, and using with, it will auto uninitialized when we go out of the with block. Okay, to create object msxml2.xml HTTP. This API we are going to use. It is inbuilt plugin or API in Windows operating system, so we don't need to install it from anywhere. And with, now the first request we are going to send to the HTTPS www.nseindia.com option chain URL, because it is going to have all the session and cookies required to query the API. So set request header, we need to set the user agent as the header, and this user agent we can have from here. When we copied this URL and this, and when we click on this kind of window will be opened, and we'll have to go at the headers tab and go down. There will be user agent. Just we need to copy this user agent and paste it in our script. That's it. Now send. As soon as we send the request, it will wait for some time to get the response back. For that purpose, we are going to implement a do while loop or do until loop until the ready state becomes 4. Ready state 4 means when the request is completed. So this is the do until loop. It will continue till the ready state becomes 4, and do events will be triggered. So do events do what? It will not get our Excel to be hanged. It will just process the event. That's it. We are using here. Now we can fetch the response in our response variable using response text, or we can just discard it because we don't need to use it anyway. Next request we are going to send at open request OC URL, and we'll need this header as well, and one more header we need to set because we are going to fetch the JSON response. So set request header, content type will be application JSON. We can also set the encoding char set is equal to UTF-8, and same this wait loop will be here, and response can be here. Before that we need to send the request always. Okay, so at this point we will have the response from our NSE website, and we can process this response text. We can also check this by using debug.print function. So we can check whether we are going to fetch any information from this API or not using this. It will be printed in this immediate window. If you don't have open this window, you can go into view and click on this immediate window, or press Ctrl G to open this window. Now click somewhere in between this function and click on this run button or F5. So this is the information we have, and this is kind of gibberish at this point because we are not formatting this information here. So we can format this in our Chrome browser using this pretty print option. So this is the information we are fetching from this URL. So now continue and process this text to fill in our Excel workbook. Because Excel VBA does not support JSON data format, so we are going to use some string operation and split function to fetch all the required information for our option chain table. So let's split this response we are getting from API request in data variable. We are not bound to create or define the variable before using it if we are not using explicit option in VBA. So we can do it, and it is totally legal. VBA.split, and we are splitting the response with square bracket, open square bracket. So let's see what we are getting here is this string will be splitted using this square bracket. So the 0 index will be this part, first index will be this part, and the second index will be this part. So we are interested in this part, and after that we receive this part. We are also going to split it again with the close square bracket, so we will get only the data which is within this data list. Okay, so index 2, then again I'm going to split it. Now I'm splitting this with the close square bracket. So I have this list of data, but it is still in string format. So I'm going to split it again using this curly braces open and close separated by a comma to split all the records separately. So we will have this list of data in a string list. Okay, so split this again using curly braces close and open. Now I'm going to check it. If u bound of data means we have some kind of data available to work, only then we continue. So we have the list of data in data variable available. So before that, let's clean our worksheet if it has some kind of data already available with the call of previous request dot range a2 auto filter. If there is some filter applied, it will reset the filter, or we can also clear it. Dot range a2 dot current region is kind of we are clicking Control A and offset of 2 clear. What this line is doing is so we are clicking on this, we are at this cell, then we are clicking on Control A, so it will select all the data which is within current list, then offset the selection by 2 rows. So the selection will start from here. So if there is any kind of data, it will clear that, but not our headers. Okay, so continue. I think I missed something. We need to set 0 index here. Okay, then we have completed this for n equals to L bound data to U bound of data next of n, and within this for loop we are going to iterate all the records available in this data variable and fetch PE data and CE data separately. So let's first fetch the PE record, which is equal to VBA dot split. We are splitting the data n with some constant, and which is that we are going to this PE. Okay, so let me copy this. I'm copying this, and after copying this I'm going to paste this here. It is a string. To escape this inverted comma, another one, and then this. So it will split this. We don't need this space here. That space was added due to the pretty print of the browser. So we are splitting our data with this P keyword. So we'll have this P data available with us, and we are checking if U bound of PE means we found the data is greater than 0, then, and if, then let's again VBA dot split this PE with index 1, because PE will be in the 0 index and the data for the PE will be in the first index. So this is the first index, and then curly braces close. We are closing this because we are just interested in the data part. So what we are doing here is we are fetching this data, ignoring upper part, and just taking this middle part and ignoring again lower part. Okay, if U bound of PE is greater than 0, then, and if, now we have this string with us. This is all the string. So now we are going to fetch each and every row of this string and match whether which data is for which header. So let's do this. First let's PE will be VBA dot split, and then P0. I'm going to split it with the comma, so we will have all the field record in a particular row. Now I can iterate it, but before checking if U bound of PE have some data in it, for K equals to L bound of PE to U bound of PE next of K. Let me go through this and check whether everything is perfect or not. Okay, so it is looking good, and let's make another temporary variable in PEK for every record we have. If TMP like it is there. First I'm taking this expiry date, okay, but the format will be like this, and stop, then and if, and we are going to extract the data for the expiry date and put it into the Excel cell, but where we are going to save this expiry date in this column. So we can make it like sheet 1, or within, I can do this way with sheet 1 and with, and dot cells plus 3, because I'm taking 3 because we are starting from this third row. This is the row, and column will be 1, value 2 will be VBA dot split. Let's split this TMP string with this colon symbol, and we are taking the right part of this, and let's replace all the inverted commas if it has with blank. This will be the concept. I have not saved this workbook yet. First of all, let's save this workbook, but don't forget to change the extension of this workbook. It is macro enabled workbook. If we keep this XLSX, it will remove all the VBA code we have written in this workbook. So don't forget to change this extension to XLSM and save it wherever you like. I'm saving this at my desktop using the name OC data from NSE. So let's test this by running this script. Yes, the data is coming, all the expiry date are there. Let's continue this script and fetch all the records for PE side. I can simply copy this and else if, okay, and I'm going to copy this line again and paste it. How many times? I'm going to paste it how many times? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 times. 1 is there, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So this header I need to change. First is expiry, second will be our strike price. For strike price we have, let me readjust this. Okay, so the second will be our strike price. The strike price, for a strike price we have strike price, and copy this, paste here. Index will be our, you can find the column and paste this till there. The 14th is the column. We need to save this. Then again we have total buy quantity. Then we have total sale. Then we have bid quantity. Then we have bid price. Then again we have ask, then ask quantity, ask price first, then ask quantity will be the second, then change, then LTP, last traded price, then IV implied volatility, after then volume, total traded volume, then we have change in OI, then OI, open interest. So I think this can conflict because both have change and it is star. I think I can make it like this, and this change will be like this. Let's check this, but before let's change the column index. 15th, then it is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, then 26 till the Z. So let's run this script and check whether the data is coming or not. Run. Yes, the data is coming and I think everything is good. Some part is blank because there are some strike price and expiry date where no PE data available or not being traded, so it is blank. So this is strike price and expiry date will be filled with the data of CE side. So for that we are going to copy this entire block from this PE to there, and we can change this P to CE. We can ignore this P variable because we are splitting the data and we have the variable with the data we need, but for the sake of simplicity we can change it to CE. All the instance of P to CE, C, and CE, then again CE, then again CE, then again CE. And we also need to change this column index as well, because now we are filling the data for CE side. So 1 and 14th will be the same for expiry date and strike price, but rest of the data will be changed this way. CRUN. So total sale will be 13. Total sale will be 13. This will be 14. 12, I guess 12, and bid quantity will be 8, bid quantity will be 8, bid price will be 9, ask price will be 10, ask quantity will be 11, change will be 7, last price will be 6, implied volatility will be 5, total traded volume will be 4, change in open interest will be 3, and then finally this will be the 2. Let's run this and see whether it is working or not. Sorry, I forget to change this CE. P is also need to be set to CE. Okay, now again let's run it. So we have our data we need. Let's filter this also to make it reflect only the data we need for the coming expiry date. And this can be done with auto filter, with sheet 1, and with, let's calculate the last row is equal to dot range. We can calculate the last row used in this n column, n1048576. This is the last row. Now we are simulating Excel up and calculating the row, and from range A32 A and I dot number format, we need to set the number format for the date to reflect the exact date we want to filter it with. Then again dot range A2 to A and I dot auto filter FILD. Field will be the first column, then criteria 1 will be our format dot range AC2, where we set the date. It was in AC2, I guess. Yes, AC2. Then value 2, and the format we need DDMM YYYY. So it will filter the data for the date we need. Let's run this once again. Yes, it is done. It is filtered with the 18th of April, but still it is reflecting fetching. However, we have finished our work, so we can do it this way, or cells 11 dot value 2 will be equals to done. And after running this script, we can also save this workbook using this workbook dot save, so the data will not be lost if we close this workbook. Okay, we have this data, done is updated, but we have only the filter on this date. Instead filtering only the date, we can also apply this with Z column. Okay, so it should work now. Fine. Exactly. Okay. Auto fit. So we have this data which is exactly as available on the NSE website. We can verify this by going on the NSE website, refresh this, and let's see for the current 22,500, the LTP is 158 in CE side. 22,500 here. The LTP is 158.55 for CE side, and for PE side 89.45. So this is all. This is how we can fetch all the information from NSE option chain in our Excel only using VBA. So one more improvement I can do here is to freeze this row and column, so we can scroll down like this. Apart from this, to run this script, I can also do one more thing, to insert a button in the second sheet, named it as refresh. And assign a macro which we have written just now to this. So whenever we click on this, the macro will be run, and we can modify this a little bit more because we are clicking the button from different sheet. We can do this sheet 1 activate, and let's run this from this page. Yes, it is working exactly. The last thing I want to change in this script, to make it run itself in every minute. So how can we do this? We can do this with application.onTime function. It receives the time when this script will execute next. So the time will be now plus time value 0000, no, 1 minute, 00 second, and the function name will be this. So let's run and check. It will run itself after 1 minute when we click on the refresh button. Okay, so we have clicked this and it is working. And now let's see whether it will execute itself after the 1 minute. So I guess this is all for this video, and I hope you learn how to fetch this option chain data from NSE website using just VBA and Excel. And I think it is the best way we can do in Excel to fetch this information without using any third-party library or API. It is still waiting to run, and yes, it worked. It just refreshed the data itself. So let's say goodbye for now. I will come with different video. If you want to learn something else in Excel VBA or anything else, you can comment down and let me know how can I help you. So for today, have a great day and goodbye.